Thank you for being here this morning. Welcome to today's joint hearing of the Senate Business, Professions, and Economic Development Committee and the Assembly Business and Professions Committee. Today's the second day, as you know, of our sunset oversight hearings the committees are conducting this year. These hearings are part of the committee's ongoing responsibility to exercise oversight to state agencies under their jurisdiction. The primary purpose of this review is to really assess the effectiveness and the efficiency of these agencies in protecting consumers and to determine whether changes in the law or in their operations or functions are necessary. Today we will be reviewing specific issues regarding the California Massage Therapy Council, the Acupuncture Board, Board of Pharmacy, Board of Psychology, Board of Behavioral Sciences, and the Veterinary Medical Board. We have asked each agency to focus its comments on the more critical issues that have been raised in the reports and the analysis. We will ask each agency to begin their testimony by providing a brief overview of the programs and a brief response to the more important issues that have been raised. Members will also have an opportunity to raise any issues or questions which they may have. We will also have the opportunity to hear from consumer groups, professional organizations, and members of the public. I'd like to invite the new chair of the Assembly Business and Professions Committee, Assemblymember Salas, to make his opening comments, and welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad this is my first hearing, and it's with you, Senator Hill. Senator Hill and I actually conducted a hearing a couple of months ago down in my home district in Kern County. But let me just say good morning, and obviously thank you to my colleague, Senator Hill, and other members on the dais as they will be joining us throughout the day. I'd also like to thank the staff of both committees for organizing this Sunset Review hearing. Also, thank you to DCA and the 6 regulatory entities and various stakeholders that have taken the time to be here. We have a robust agenda which reflects how seriously both committees view our oversight responsibility. The Sunset Review process is a continuing conversation about how to better serve our licensed professionals and improve their ability to function under the provisions outlined in statute. When the boards and bureaus came under review, the legislature and the public have the opportunity and the responsibility to work together to solve problems facing our licensees. By calling upon the boards, bureaus, and state oversight entities every 2 to 4 years, we are able to dial into systemic issues. Together, we can bolster our regulatory programs. Today is our second Sunset Review hearing, and we will examine the operations of 6 additional regulatory entities. During this process, we have had the opportunity to review each regulatory authority, including its focus on consumer safety, financial solvency, and regulatory efficiency. I look forward to hearing from the council and the boards and the bureaus today. And with that, should we go ahead and invite?
I think so. Invite the representatives of the California Massage Therapy Council to come forward and make their way and give us their presentation. Pretty fancy sheets. Yeah, I know. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Chairman Hill.
Thank you.
Committee members and staff. My name is Mark Dixon, and I'm the chairman of the board of the California Massage Therapy Council. Joining me this morning are our CEO, Amos Netanel, Director of Governmental Affairs, Beverly May, Michael Callaghy, board member, General Counsel Jill England, and Special Counsel Allison Siegel. Protection of the public has been the highest priority of CMTC since it was established in 2009. CMTC is a nonprofit organization that carries out the responsibilities and duties set forth in the Massage Therapy Act. CMTC was named and incorporated by the initiative of private individuals. Not being part of California state government, CMTC has never used any taxpayer monies, state funds, or other public funding. In order to launch its operations, CMTC raised $184,000 in loan commitments from 5 private sources. All loans were fully repaid by February 2010, and the organization has maintained a strong financial position since inception. Unlike professional licensing boards, CMTC has never relied on any state agency infrastructure, administrative, logistical, technical, or legal support. Since 2010, there have been numerous amendments to the law, the most significant of which has been AB 1147. The statutory amendments have accomplished many things, such as clarifying the applicability of the law to charter cities, raising educational and disciplinary standards, imposing a prohibition on defining and/or regulating massage establishments as adult entertainment, and expanding the land use authority of cities and counties. CMTC's main function is the implementation of a voluntary statewide certification program for massage professionals and massage schools. Currently, CMTC has over 50,000 active certificate holders operating with a balanced budget of $4,776,000 and a cash reserve equivalent to 7 months' operating expenses. CMTC went through its first sunset review in 2014, at which time its statute was reorganized and significantly revised by AB 1147. On January 1st of 2015, the statutory changes authorized by AB 1147 became effective. In September 2015, the 20-member board was reconstituted with 13 members, 7 of whom, a majority, are local government officials. Thank you. I'm going to ask our CEO, Amos Netanel, to take over from here.
Thank you.
Numerous positive changes have taken place since the last sunset review of CMTC. In the interest of time, I'll briefly discuss just 2. 1, the establishment of disciplinary performance measures, and 2, our relationship with law enforcement. Target performance measures of disciplinary actions were established to ensure that disciplinary activities are directly aligned with CMTC's mission of protecting the public. A comparison of CMTC enforcement results with DCA boards and bureaus clearly demonstrate that CMTC is able to make more efficient and effective use of resources. And I asked the Sergeant Arms to distribute this chart so you can see a comparison of several categories. The purpose of this comparison is not to gloat or to make any value judgment about the hardworking folks at the professional boards. To the contrary, I have a lot of respect to all of them. But what you see here are the results of 2 fundamentally different regulatory platforms, the old model and the innovative new one. As a private, nonprofit entity, CMTC is agile and free from bureaucratic gridlock and has the ability to use private legal counsel, which can act and respond much faster than state agencies can. Bottom line, in the past 6 years, CMTC was able to deny, revoke, and suspend more than 7,000 individuals who would otherwise pose a significant threat to the public safety. Local government and law enforcement are grateful for the efficient way CMTC can get bad apples out of the system. That simply would not be possible if CMTC were a state agency. Regarding law enforcement, strengthening the collaboration with law enforcement community was one of CMTC's top priorities since the last sunset. Please take a look at this handout, which is distributed to you, which cites some of the numerous enthusiastic positive comments CMTC has received from law enforcement. We established a cooperative working relationship with more than 420 agencies and provided specialized training to more than 700 law enforcement officials. In addition to reaching out to police chiefs and sheriffs throughout the state and speaking to the Cal Chiefs Board, we regularly meet with police chiefs all over the state to discuss ways CMTC can assist them in meeting their duty to maintain the highest standards of conduct and safety in massage establishments in their communities. Over the past few months, we sat down with chiefs from cities such as Concord, Roseville, Rockland, Santa Ana, Santa Monica, just to name a few. These discussions are ongoing, And actually, as soon as we are done here today, we're heading to Yuba City for a meeting with their chief to discuss the establishment of more robust communication protocol with his department. Next, Beverly May, Director of Governmental Affairs, will discuss the very important issue of human trafficking.
Hello. CAMTC, can you hear that?
Yeah.
CAMTC takes the issue of human trafficking very seriously. In fact, it is because of CAMTC's recommendation that a seat for an anti-trafficking organization was added to the board. CAMTC works actively with many local and national anti-human trafficking task forces and organizations. I personally attend 2 to 3 governmental and NGO trafficking meetings a month around the state as well as in DC. Groups that we have interacted with include the Polaris Project, Journey Out, Without Permission, the Bay Area Anti-Trafficking Coalition, the Los Angeles County Regional Human Trafficking Task Force, the Coalition Against Slavery and Trafficking, the Stanislaus County Human Trafficking Task Force, hosted by the District Attorney, the Alameda County Human Exploitation and Trafficking Watch Program, one of the first and most active anti-trafficking programs organized by a county district attorney's office, the San Francisco Mayor's Task Force on Human Trafficking, as well as the San Francisco Labor Trafficking Committee, previously called the Illicit Massage Parlor Committee, the San Francisco Collaborative Against Human Trafficking, and the San Mateo County Human Trafficking Coordinator. CAMTC does not regulate massage establishments. We certify individuals. Therefore, we have no authority over establishments, which fall under the jurisdiction of local law enforcement agencies and cities and counties. But we do all that we can to assist local government with these issues. We assist cities and counties by taking swift action against certified owners and operators when unprofessional conduct occurs in their establishments. CAMTC is the only entity that launched a statewide undercover operation to identify and take action against fraudulent schools and diploma mills. By taking away their ability to issue false, fake diplomas, CAMTC cuts the lifeline of human traffickers. Fraudulent schools are an integral part of the human trafficking pipeline, their operations depending on their ability to purchase transcripts for people who have not received education and therefore set up prostitutes as massage therapists. The fake diplomas allow illegal businesses to cover their operations with the veil of legitimacy. CAMTC's initiative has resulted in the unapproval of over 60 schools, many of which are still approved by the state. CAMTC's actions against schools are continuous and ongoing. By taking this action against schools, CAMTC has dealt human traffickers a major blow. We will continue to take action against fraudulent schools and look forward to working with the committees on further intensifying our role against human trafficking. Next, Jill England, General Counsel, will address board member training.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to respond to item 7 on the report. The California Massage Therapy Council fully complies with the Bagley-Keene Open Meeting Act, and we always have. New board members are given a copy of the law when they are seated on the board, and I'm always available for questions. We do agree with the committee that additional training is a great idea, and we are already planning a training session at our 2-day meeting in September. Thank you. Next, we'll have Allison Siegel, our special counsel, talk about schools.
Good morning, excuse me. Good morning, committee chairs Hill and committee chair Salas, committee members and staff. My name is Allison Siegel and I am special counsel to CAMTC. CAMTC is happy to discuss the new school approval program with the committees. Prior to the implementation of the new program, CAMTC decided to focus its limited resources on unapproving schools that it found had violated its policies and procedures. CAMTC's school approval program is currently a system in transition. CAMTC is moving from an unapproval process to a proactive school approval process, whereby a date certain it will only accept education from CAMTC-approved schools. The organization began accepting applications for school approval on April 1st of 2015. To date, approximately 122 applications have been received. For those 77 schools whose applications were submitted by or before the deadline of May 1st, 2015, CAMTC has completed inspection of those schools and will notify them of approval, proposed denial, or request corrective action on or before July 1st of 2016. For the other schools, site inspections and review of documentation is ongoing. Many of these other schools will also have a decision on approval before July 1st of 2016. I'd like to next address the school approval criteria. The criteria for school approval is contained in CMTC's Policies and Procedures for Approval of Schools, which is a 22-page document that is an attachment to the Sunset Report. This document contains very detailed requirements for ensuring that a school meets minimum standards for training and curriculum, as is required by the law. Some highlights of those requirements are the following. Background checks are required for all school owners, administrators, and staff, unless they are already CAMTC certified. Schools must pass an in-person school site inspection performed by a CAMTC school inspector. Schools must provide extensive documentation showing ownership of the school and operational structure. Schools must also pass a rigorous curriculum review, which ensures that educational objectives are met. Schools must provide documentation proving faculty members are well qualified to teach their respective students. Schools must meet physical space requirements that ensure that the space is sufficient for the number of students taught. Schools must also provide a minimum of 500 clock hours of supervised instruction, which means no distance learning, no self-study, and no online education is allowed. A minimum of 100 of these 500 hours must be in core curriculum requirements, which are anatomy and physiology, contraindications, health and hygiene, and business and ethics. Student clinic hours may not comprise more than 75 hours of the required 500 hours and must be performed on the school premises under the direct supervision of faculty. And schools may not provide more than 10 hours of education in a day and may not provide more than 40 hours of education in any 7-day period. Next, I'd like to address issues related to students. For individual applications for certification received on or after July 1 of 2016, CAMTC will only accept education from CAMTC-approved schools. This means that if a student has attended a school that is not applied for approval, CAMTC must receive their application by or before June 30th of 2016 in order for CAMTC to accept their education for certification purposes. Furthermore, at the last board meeting in February, the board voted to allow students who have attended a school whose application is pending for school approval to be placed on hold until a final decision is rendered on the application. If the school is approved, the hold will be lifted and students will be processed in accordance with standard procedures. If the school is denied, then the students will be informed of that decision and provided with a 1-year education extension so that they may obtain education at a CAMTC-approved school. This helps to protect students if, for example, their school applies for approval tomorrow, but no final decision is rendered on the request for approval by or before June 30th of 2016. Additionally, for students that have attended closed schools, CAMTC will accept their hours of education if a closed school has been purchased by a CAMTC-approved school. Lastly, I'd like to address the fee cap issue. CAMTC does not believe that a fee cap for school applications is appropriate at this time. The current school application fee is $750, though it costs CAMTC more than $3,000 per school to put them through the approval process. CAMTC is mindful of the financial burdens placed on schools and is trying to help them out by keeping its application fee low. This is a brand new program, and it is too early to determine what an appropriate fee should ultimately be. We therefore believe that it would be detrimental to set a fee cap on school applications at this time. Thank you. And next, I'm going to also address the issues related to information sharing with local government. CMTC has a great working relationship with many law enforcement agencies, cities, and counties, where information is shared easily and regularly. CMTC works with local government and law enforcement personnel every day to gather the information needed to take action against applicants and certificate holders. Through these regular contacts, CMTC is cementing relationships and educating people on the best way to provide information to CMTC so that action can be taken quickly with the least amount of burden on law enforcement and city and county personnel. Cities and counties are the ones that have the information CMTC needs to take action. So we rely on them to help us address violations of our law. Outreach efforts are working, which can be seen in the total increase overall in denial and disciplinary action taken in 2015, and most notably in the category of suspensions based on evidence, which counted 97 in the first 9 months of 2015. Jurisdictions with good working relationships with CMTC will notify us on their own when information comes in about an applicant or certificate holder, so that quick action can be taken. They like the fact that we can swiftly suspend a certificate based on the information they provide to us. In order to improve relationships and increase cooperation and information sharing, the Director of the Professional Standards Division also provides no-cost training to local law enforcement and government agencies, which he began providing this training in 2014. In April of 2015, a letter was sent to the California Police Chiefs Association offering no-cost training provided by CMTC. This letter was forwarded to all members and resulted in considerable interest in the training. New letters were sent in October of 2015 to 358 police chiefs, 58 sheriffs, and the presidents of the Cal Chiefs and California State Sheriffs Association from the CEO, again offering to provide no-cost training, as well as seeking to coordinate enforcement protocols and escalate information sharing. From the time we started the training until now, CMTC has trained over 700 individuals and 248 separate agencies. The training sessions have become quite popular. District attorneys' offices, as well as contract attorneys for cities, are now calling CMTC and asking for CMTC training for their respective departments, as they recognize the value of our system of discipline. This is because CMTC has the ability to take action in situations where unprofessional conduct occurred, but they themselves have no ability to file criminal cases. Not only is CMTC a reactive organization, it is also proactive in delivering the tools law enforcement and local agencies need to eliminate problems from the profession. CMTC also has a local government database where city and county personnel can have access to information about applicants and certificate holders. Access to this information helps local agencies take action on their end. CMTC's new database will make this information more easily accessible to law enforcement agencies and local government personnel. CMTC also notifies law enforcement agencies, cities, and counties by email in the jurisdiction where a certificate holder lives or works when it has suspended, revoked, or taken disciplinary action against the certificate holder. While CMTC has a great working relationship with many cities and counties, there are others, most notably the largest jurisdiction in California, that still refuse to provide information. CMTC has had multiple meetings with this jurisdiction, during which information sharing has been promised, and CMTC even supported a legislative change that became operative in 2013, which specifically authorized law enforcement agencies to share information with CMTC, all to no avail. In jurisdictions where information is not shared, CMTC rarely has the evidence needed to take action on conduct-based violations, such as unprofessional conduct, which includes engaging in sexual activity on the premises of a massage establishment. While CMTC receives reporting from the DOJ and FBI for convictions are rare for prostitution, a misdemeanor, and other related crimes are also rare. Some jurisdictions don't prosecute misdemeanors at all, while others direct DAs to settle all misdemeanor cases, and in still others, they will not prosecute for first-time prostitution offenses. Some cities also have a policy of dropping misdemeanor citations and not issuing fines. Without robust sharing of information, CMTC is only able to prosecute a fraction of the violations which may have occurred. Thank you. At this time, Beverly May will address changes to the way local government regulates massage since the implementation of AB 1147.
Thank you. Ms. May.
Each city and county has taken their own approach to the regulation of businesses and applicable land use since the enactment of AB 1147. While some cities act very responsibly and seek to keep the burden on small businesses to a minimum, others have imposed moratoria, restrictive, anachronistic regulations, and excessive fees. The majority of jurisdictions have not changed their municipal or county codes at all since AB 1147 went into effect. Instead, just going back to the way they regulated and zoned massage prior to 2012. Others replaced ordinances passed between 2012 and 2015 by adding back old provisions that do things like impose moratorium on new massage businesses, which prohibit the opening of new businesses and don't allow the replacement of independent contractors working in existing businesses, require conditional use permits, which typically take 3 to 12 months to obtain and cost as much as $11,000, plus additional significant expenses, including paying rent for commercial space that cannot be used until the permit is approved and losing it if the permit is denied. Some cities impose these requirements retroactively, forcing businesses to move if not compliant. A few allow them to remain as non-conforming use as long as the ownership doesn't change or give them time to comply. Many cities require expensive establishment permits. Some limit massage to ancillary use, so massage may only be allowed as part of another business, as in some cases as little as 33 to 50% of the floor space or revenue. A number of cities prohibit massage from being within 500 to 1,000 feet of another massage business, a school, a church, a residence, effectively zoning them out of existence in small communities. A great number of them treat every co-tenant or independent contractor in one establishment, in one location, as separate establishments, requiring each one to obtain the conditional or special use permits and pay for health and other permits and inspections for the same property. A number of cities require redundant live scan and background checks for owners and operators despite being certified. They also, some prohibit out-call massage, which prohibits massage at businesses, clients' homes, or require a physical presence in the city, denying a massage therapist from providing their services in neighboring cities. Some prohibit home-based massage, even if similar professions are so permitted. A number of them maintain adult entertainment regulations, even though specifically prohibited by the Massage Therapy Act. Some cities have circumvented this by copying adult entertainment zoning language and pasting it into a new zoning provision renamed massage zoning. A number of other cities and counties have been developing best practices in the effective regulation of massage establishments. There's a number of factors that may be considered in determining whether a city or county is effectively reducing the number of so-called illicit massage establishments while complying with the intent of the Massage Therapy Act, which I'll read just a little section, that local governments impose and enforce only reasonable and necessary fees and regulations, being mindful of the need to protect legitimate business owners and massage professionals, particularly sole providers, for the sake of developing a healthy and vibrant local economy. The following are three components that CAMTC observes in the most successful jurisdictions. First of all, and of most importance, is that the jurisdiction makes a commitment to adequate enforcement of their own municipal or county codes, as well as state laws relating both specifically to the profession and to criminal violations in general. Second is having a well-constructed code that maximizes the ability to discipline or close illicit establishments easily and cost-effectively using administrative citations or penal codes with violators paying for enforcement through the imposition of fines. Many of the cities and counties with the most effective regulations have drafted them with input from the local community of massage therapists and business owners to minimize unintended consequences that harm the legitimate profession. The third factor is how dynamic the sharing of information with CAMTC is. Whether a city or county ordinance requires certification or not is not as important as whether the jurisdiction commits to cooperation with CAMTC in terms of sharing police reports and citation and municipal and county code violation information related to applicants and certificate holders so that CAMTC can take swift disciplinary action. Some jurisdictions are doing it right, like San Mateo County, San Rafael, Vacaville, and Fresno. At this point, I'd like Mike Callaghy to address San Mateo County's massage regulation, a program considered to be a model for an approach to massage regulation that is actually working.